The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is...
Hi guys, I'm Lex.
And I'm Liv.
And today,
We'll be the judges.
I did it right. Major parts. Alright, now, this is on to the
I would get the
journal.
book and read it for better context, even though we read basically the book to you.
The dates are very out of order in here, but I'm just going to read, as I go down how they are. So, they only refer to the kids with their first letter of their name, so I'm just going to do that too. So, July 1st, 2023, says R is to stay outside, sleep outside, and only to come in for the bathroom and a shower. And then July 14th, 2023, E refuses to work, screams, she has her hair shaved off. July 15th, R runs away around 1:15 a.m. Ruby finds him at 3:14. So he ran away. That was the first time he ran away before he actually got help.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they originally actually found them.
No, not the first time, the second time.
Well, the second time he ran away.
To a neighbor's house.
And it was all caught on camera. And the 911 call is online. It's everywhere.
Yeah. So this is July 10th. R turns 12 tomorrow. So he's going to be 12. So he's 11 at this point. And so this is a trauma response. But he says, I never envisioned him being 12 and still peeing and pooping himself. Because he had, his body didn't know how to function correctly.
Well, he was probably taught not to go to the bathroom. And
he wasn't able to. Then the next day she says, it's R's birthday. He doesn't even know what day or month it is. E and R have been in so much deviant behavior, they can't control their bodily functions. I told R he emulates a snake. He slithers, sneaks around, looks for opportunities when no one is watching, and then he scurries. If he wants to emulate the savior, he needs to be 100% obedient. So she's saying that he's a compulsive liar, all this stuff. So
he's 11.
Yeah. R is in and out of possession. Apparently. He lies. E is better behaved with Jody, and she likes to think that she can manipulate me. I gave her a pixie haircut. All her long hair is gone. No more distracting with her hair. And then R told me...
Wait, was that only them two living with her?
The other two girls were, but I don't think as often. But
where were they?
What happened to them? They're in here at parts, but nothing ever
But where were they?
I don't know.
Maybe they were there. They just listened better.
I don't know. R told me he would rather have a glass of water than me as his mom.
Then what?
Me as his mom. E manipulates.
He probably didn't get water.
No. E manipulates me. She won't scream when Jody is around, but when she's with me, she wails all night. She screamed, crying, would hit her head on the tile floor.
That's so sad.
R was told to stand in the sun with his sun hat. He's defiant and says no. I ask him a couple more times. I push him into the sun. He comes back. I come with a cactus poker. When I poke his back to get him in the sun, he doesn't even flinch. I poke him on the neck. He's in a trance and doesn't appear to feel anything. Jody taps him on the cheeks to wake him up with a cactus. With a cactus. Mind you. Not with a hand, with a fucking cactus.
Yeah, that's worse.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't even feel it anymore.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't feel like anything.
So now he's outside. He's been standing outside.
In the sun?
Yeah. He had to stand outside in the sun for hours. I take my old mop water and go to R. I show him the water, and then I pour the water on him. Because it's hot outside. It feels good, doesn't it? He says yes.
He doesn't care how dirty it is.
He doesn't. So then he was outside with Jody, and Jody pushes him into the pool. He swam to the side and he pulled out, and she says, good, refreshing? He goes, yes, ma'am. She then went out a couple hours later, and I asked if he wanted to go in the pool again. He said, yes, ma'am. Will you let me push you in? He laughed. He said, and tried not to act too excited. R cooled off and went back to his spot. I put my hands on his face. R, have you heard someone talk to you underwater? Yes, ma'am. I know R is in there somewhere. I know deep down under all this anger, you can hear me. It may sound like I'm underwater with you, but hear me, I love you. R got teary. Then I put my hand tightly over his nose and mouth. I am coming to you in this water. I'm putting my hands on your nose and mouth. The devil lies and says I'm hurting you, abusing you. But R What am I really doing to you? And he says, you are putting oxygen on me to help me breathe. Yes, that's right. R looked like he wanted to beat me up this morning, and then he interrogated, and then 2 hours later, he drinks water from the hose. He steals water.
Whoo! That shoddy base stole the water!
R is a compulsive liar. He feels no remorse for his choices. He shuts down and says he wants to go to jail.
Oh? Honestly, he probably would rather be in jail than stand outside in the heat and be told that he's stealing water.
Mm-hmm. He said, I want the outcome of being changed, but I don't want to do the work that it requires. And she says, R doesn't actually know what jail means. He has no comprehension that throwing your life away means he just gets immediate gratification of sitting in an air-conditioned ride to juvie. That's what he wanted, an air-conditioned ride to juvie. R stole water. Another one. E said she was never going home. R and E have been counting days. R did know yesterday was his birthday. So they did find out that they were counting days. E told me she figures they'd been here for 8 weeks. I asked E if she felt like she made any progress, and she said yes. I told her she was delusional. She has made no progress. She continues to lie and manipulate. Last night, her screaming trance, and head banging were evidence of no change. E was manipulative. This day, E anticipates breaking her 2-day fast. They refuse to eat. But then it says she has hardened her heart and will do 1 more day of fasting to invite her to humble.
Oh, so the mom was encouraging them.
Yes.
Okay.
E flips out and begins ranting. She refuses to get up. She lies on the floor all day speaking dishonest chants. Because Jody is on the phone with clients, I go in and match her with aggression. All day, E makes rhymes about, my mom starves me and calls it fasting. My mom won't lift a finger and bring me food because all she does is lie on the bed and eat brownies. My mom says she is the most loving mom in the world, blah, blah, blah. If I can't ever go home, what's the point in being obedient? I'm going to run away. It's like they didn't care. They were saying everything they were thinking. They
did not care.
No. So,
honestly,
she said,
I don't think I would either.
The longer the lies, the longer the intervention and more physical the intervention needs to be. I cut more of E's hair and doused her in water in the dog wash.
That's actually dirty.
R broke his fast with brown beans, lentils, black beans, chicken, and water. E broke her fast with cheesy potatoes, steak, oatmeal, and water. R is full of piss and vinegar. Don't know what that means. It's been about 90 minutes since R ate. I warned him that food would either energize him to truth or defiance. He's defiant again. He pooped his pants and is telling me no. His poop is too watery to be fasting. He admits to stealing water 3 times yesterday. That's how she was telling if they were stealing water or eating or stuff like that, which is bananas. This is when they start looking for property with more need for open land for the kids to do more things. R, I will clean up out in the desert as he pooped himself. He will then stand or sit on the patio.
Oh, he gets to sit this
Now
time.
I'll see him from the kitchen. I will bring into the cool house and she can sit in the pantry. They will think they won. They will think they got what they wanted. They will relax, then pop. We will drop them like hot potatoes out in the desert. Their new home.
Oh. It's probably no different than their actual home.
Yeah. If you could energize a weak-minded soul in a physical activity of obedience, you could begin to break the bond Satan made with the weak. Farm work, lifting boxes, excruciating energy, exercises, jump rope, milking cows, weeding a garden, digging trenches. That's what they were thinking as interventions. And the kids need a good kick from a horse and a cactus to run into. So then R answered what I want. And she said, what do you want? He said, more different foods and a soft bed. She said, why don't you ask Satan? Do you think Satan will give you those things? He said, no. She said, why not? And he said, because he doesn't have the power. And she said, why would you serve a God who has no power to give you your desires? Dumb. And he just didn't say anything. So apparently then the next day she was having like facial expressions that were mean, crying, whining. She said, whining is the devil's voice. E woke up. I reminded her that if she whined, cried, or squinted her eyes at me, or soured her face, I would be buzzing her hair. She was going to act sick she was going to look sick. She agreed with a smile. I told her because she didn't listen the night before, she would do 2 sets of box stairs with a 5-minute break. She did the first set easy and agreeably. After 5 minutes of rest, she began whimpering. Then she got to the bottom stair and she slipped. And I put her in the dog wash and shaved her head. So now they were purposely hurting themselves so they didn't have to do stuff. So then she said that she had to sit on a park bench and make her think about her choices. I made it very clear if she were to move, get up, fidget, talk, take her hat off, she would go back to work. She agreed. After an hour on the bench, an hour sitting still, not moving, she began moving around and looking around. I pulled her in the house and gave her more boxes.
That's insane.
So now she's saying this to R. She says, "You like sleeping on the hard ground? I slept in a soft bed." And he goes, "I slept really well." She said, "You are mean. Do you enjoy being mean?" He says, "Yes, ma'am." She says, "Do you expect me to feed you?" He goes, "Yes." She goes, I will feed R. I will not feed a demon. So I will check on you in a bit. And if you want food, then be prepared to tell the truth about your behaviors. Tell the truth about who I am. An hour later, you ready? No, ma'am. So you would rather have no food and worship the devil? Yes, ma'am. So now another one of her having to sit on the bench and not move. 1 minute, then picks at her blossoms. She picks like a plant in the ground. Defiant. More boxes. She refuses and goes to sleep on the basement floor.
Damn, these kids were badasses.
She says, "Stop picking your nose." The kids would pick their noses until they bled. She gave him, I guess, food or something, and she says, "No, thank you. Are you going to acknowledge the woman you've been abusing that just brought you dinner?" He goes, "Well, I would say thank you, but I wouldn't mean it." With that, I grabbed his dinner and water. He tried going back on what he said, and she said, "I will not talk with the demon. Your soul is damned, and I will not hear your dumb words. Straight to bed." Now, this is when she starts talking that when she's doing the boxes, she's slipping and falling on purpose. It was hot outside, and she acted like she was dying. I went to bed around 12 a.m., E on the floor next to my bed, R on the patio.
She probably was dying.
He was sleeping on the patio outside. At 12:45, she got up. She couldn't see, and he was gone. He wrote a message in little pebbles. The message said, "Jail, I will call when I get there." He was trying to take himself to jail. Because in his head, his mom said he was the bad one. He was doing all this stuff wrong. So
I'm turning myself in.
Yep. So they ended up finding him, and now he got to sleep in the bed with her mom. But that was only, honestly, in a way of punishment. So to keep my son, I need to put him back under sedation.
Sedate him?
I don't know how, but she says I purposely put R back into a slumber. Hibernate.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Surprised she didn't kill them.
So it says, R and E do not want to repent. They hate God per their own behaviors and words. Boy, if this is the way you were treating it, I'd say that too.
If I was treated like that and saying that God is doing this to you, or this is what, blah, 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 I'd hate him too. But if you grow up loving him and being told that he's good
then
to
you're
you,
fine.
Then you end up loving him.
Yeah. So then, this is July 16th. Last night, I tied myself to R. Full night of sleep. 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. No interventions. R showers while I watch. I shower while R is in the closet. They need things to get hard fast. Intense, shock-changing, immediate discomfort, stress to their symptoms. Why? Because they divulged their secrets. Bitch, I think you're the one with the secrets. Then he said, I don't want that. I told R today that he is sedating his choice to do wickedly. I don't want that anymore. My response, yes, you do. You stood alone with only your choices, and you literally would stand it, run away. You refused to sit or stand with your choices, and now you are in the house with milk, AC, and a book, and you quite like it, don't you? Yes, ma'am. If you really didn't want evil anymore, you would say, thanks for the book, but I want to do boxes today, or I want to go stand with my choices. But you won't do that, will you? No, ma'am. See, I want to make it clear to you, you have not made any shifting or changing. So basically she's saying, if I give you the option, hey, you can come inside and sit and read, but if you say, hey, no, I'm going to go outside and stand in the hot sun all day. R has been out of control. Pee, poop, lie, stealing, running away. E, crying, wailing. You could not know what this has been like unless you were here. So she went out in the heat barefoot. She tried to run. She screamed for another family, food, water, care, love. A manipulative plug. After a couple of hours screaming and speaking nonsense, she finally laid down in the road quiet. We took her home. So they took both of the kids barefoot to increase their discomfort and decrease them from running away, to weed a cemetery. Huge sage bushes, pokies, thorns, broken glass, garbage all over. They spent a couple hours filling bags. 5 hours of weed pulling. And then he said, "This is getting easier. I'm getting stronger. I want to pull the weed out of my heart. What am I doing with my life? I don't want to lie like this anymore." So then he put his head in the toilet because he was so tired. He was so hot. There was no water. And he said that it was a problem because he has no problem with being gross. But
when it comes down to it, you gotta drink and you gotta cool off somehow.
Yeah.
If I were him while I was showering,
no, they would get in trouble.
Oh yeah,
they would steal water. They told her that the little girl had to run on the dirt road. She ran for a bit and then started manipulating. I told her to run up the incline on a hillside, touch a tree, and return 100 yards max. She threw herself into a tree.
That's a football field.
No, she threw herself into a tree. After an hour of jumping in bushes, we get to the truck to find a cactus. Walked right up to the cactus and threw herself into the middle of it. She acted like it didn't hurt at all. She cuddled right in. I watched her press her foot up against the cactus ear. I watched with my mouth open. She's so numb. After being cozy with the cactus, she got up and spoke with Jody for 10 minutes. She walked to the truck and I rolled down the window. "May I have permission to speak?" "Yes." "Can I have another chance at running the hill?" "Yes." She got in the truck and we drove up the hill. "Mother."
She probably felt more comfort with hugging the cactus.
Yep. So this is what she did. She's a badass for this one, actually. So she goes, "Mother, what would you like me to do?" I instructed her to run to the dead tree and then come back. And she replied, "I would rather jump into a cactus."
Period.
And she goes, "This girl would choose to be shot and die than to be humble." No, I'd rather be shot and dead
than be
than
with
fucking
you.
whatever you're doing. E is in the closet and I'm contemplating what to do. She screams much of the day. She doesn't get water if she screams. She refuses to eat. E is angry about her feet, so I guess their feet were so thin. She says, "I dressed her wounds and left her to me." Jody cleansed her heels. The hydrogen peroxide
Probably
didn't
because she
sting.
stepped on a fucking cactus.
R's feet are swollen from standing. Today, R is standing outside by the patio because it's raining.
Can we watch that documentary?
Mm-hmm. The rain is washing the rock, so it needed to wash him. But again, he pooped himself because he's outside. He can't do anything else.
Yeah, where is he supposed to poop if he's outside? Because you don't let him move.
Yeah. He goes, "Our rage comes out when he doesn't get what he wants, which is to serve the devil, aka have no responsibility, and have me, Mom, turn on him and coddle him. He walks. Feed me, hug me, be tender with me, shower me in praise and affection, and let me lie to you and abuse you." Today he raged for hours. She said that about him. Fuck you. That's what he said to her.
He said fuck you to her?
Uh-huh. At least so many times. "I'm not going to lie anymore. I'm never going to change. Take me to jail where I belong." He kept yelling, "Fuck you." For real. He's very defiant. I found his fingers poopy. He keeps pooping and peeing his pants. Within 5 minutes of him going...
I found his fingers poopy. He's got poopy on his fingers.
Within 5 minutes of him going to the bathroom, he went in his pants and tried hiding it from me. Well, bitch, I would too.
You didn't let him,
What did she have, 30 seconds?
Alright, you had about 10 seconds. You should have pissed. Let's go.
Yeah. He becomes aggressive and destructive. He starts banging and hitting doors. I went in and kicked him. Knock this off. I put on a pair of boots. I went him and kicked him again.
With boots on?
Yeah. He was contained in the closet. He wet his pants. Every time things happen, he wet his pants. But, that's a trauma thing.
Not only trauma, he's no other choice.
I think not saying she didn't have it, but what I'm reading, he had worse things done to him.
Whoa.
Physical.
She did
didn't
worse.
eat.
She did worse things to herself. Whereas he had worse things done to him. She did worse things to herself.
Yeah, this is
threw herself into a cactus.
She stood in the rain for 2 hours.
Yeah, optionally. There was just stuff that she did.
Because if she did it, at least somebody else.
It was really that bad to the point where they had to block it.
Yeah. What they are saying, I could only imagine of what's blocked out. I tried to find one without it. There isn't one.
No, the police probably did that.
Yeah. The world we live in today does not support children being uncomfortable. They, the adults, are uncomfortable with children being uncomfortable, and so the children are comforted, entertained, distracted from the need to confess and change. Stripping down a child's world to the basic of beans and rice and hard work.
Beans, rice, Jesus Christ, and Byron.
And hard work would be considered abuse, and it's not. It's necessary for the prideful child. It has been 3 months of consistent boundaries and putting up with his
See, if I was that
terrors.
little girl, I'd been like, Mommy, look. I like girls.
Oh my god. This is 2 weeks before she got arrested. Day 2 of R jumping on a mini trampoline. He needs lots of help with balance and coordination. Today I asked him to take off one sock by bouncing on the opposite foot, lift up
On
one
a
foot,
trampoline?
remove his sock while staying balanced. He fell over with his nose to the ground and it began bleeding. I gave him a wet rag to wipe his face and toilet paper. He dabbed his face merely to smear the blood. He then blew his nose so harshly through the toilet paper he got blood on his face and all over his shirt. The easiest exercise he's asked to do, he refuses with the desperate sadness you would expect of a 90-year-old. He plays completely helpless. His body is full of evil, puffy, infected, and he won't participate in the responsibility of flushing it out.
I want to know who told her all of this.
Poking is a strategy or technique.
Because it always starts somewhere. So somebody told her, and the person that told her, somebody told them. And
Jody, the other girl.
Who told Jody?
I don't know. She probably started. R seems to respond to poking, pouring cold water, and a towel whip. First day, R soaked, jumped as told. He wet his pants twice. Repetitive from the 22nd to the 25th of him, like, peeing and whatever in his pants. I whipped him with a belt yesterday. E2. She peed all over Jody's garage floor. Screamed at her and lied to her. She's out of control. She gave her attention after
She's a badass.
She gave her attention after the whipping.
How old is she?
I think she's... Well, if he's 12, she's probably 10. 9 or 10. Swept the garage, mopped it, and she slept on it. That's kind of all the stuff that is here. But they were trying to find a place to live. Like, that's, like, the worst. I think the worst was the whole cactus. Like, the fact that she was able to throw herself into a cactus...
And feel nothing.
...is crazy.
And literally...
Mom, I'd rather jump into a cactus than do what you just asked me to tell you. And guess what? I fucking did, so fuck off. So, yeah.
It's been a whole day. A day.
I know.
Of filming.
But we're done. So, guys.
How many episodes is this going to be?
I don't know. Probably a bunch. Alright, guys. We'll see you next week.
You can find us on Spotify or anywhere you get your podcasts.
Today we were the judges.
And you just got served.